Hello and welcome to DM Diaries with myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, doing my official intro voice. Your chance to get behind the DM screen and see what's going on in my head. For those of you who are wondering, it's Desmond Tutus, two toucans, doing the can in two tutus. So, this episode I shall be talking about guest players. What to do when people cancel last minute, and anything else that comes into the jumbled funfair that is my brain. Cotton candy rides and merry-go-rounds. Anyway, we will start with the fact that yesterday on the show, our live stream, we had world-class Trump impersonator Alexander Sparrow. Now you may think I'm just making that up. No, he flew to America to compete as one of the top 10 leading Trump impersonators in the world. Now this guy, I've seen his shows around town because I work at a theatre along with selling D&D stuff. I have a few jobs and one of them was working in a theatre. So I've seen his shows before and man, I mean he's amazing. He's brilliant. His character work is second to none and his Trump impersonation is amazing. And essentially I got talking to him after the shows. I think I did a couple of workshops with him as well on stand-up comedy. Anyway, he remembered me, and I saw that he was around, so I sent him a message and said, hey, would you like to play as a guest player in one of our games? And he was like, well, I've never played before. And I'm like, dude, doesn't matter, come along. So he did. And it turned out to be a really fun session. I think I'm actually getting pretty good at introducing one-shot characters. It can be difficult, like, how do you get them to gel with the party, and how much backstory do you need the party to have for this guy? I also kind of have a thing that my party does not trust any one-shot people that I bring on. I've maybe screwed them over once or twice with some one-shot characters that came and lured them to their doom. So, generally there's zone of truth. But Alexander was playing High Gun Blackhammer, this dwarven miner, which kind of tied into the stories. There's, in Kyvern Mines in the east of Ucast, a whole bunch of dwarven miners have just tapped a really great resource for gems, precious gems, and metals. So they've found like a wealth of treasure beneath the Coldridge Mountains. And they're kind of discussing amongst themselves. They think, well, we're bound to Gold Shield, but what if we just took the money and run, you know? What if we just ran away, got on a boat, and retired? So Alexander essentially was playing one of those dwarves, which is just basically like when he said, yeah, I want to play, my DM brain went, oh god, how do I write him in? And what I like to do with this is just go back over, like, especially if you take notes of like the plot points. Oh, for me it's easier because we record it all and put it on YouTube, so I can just watch the video back. And then kind of look at the key points and think to myself, well, what if he was one of these people, or what if he's tied into this plot point? And that kind of gives the party reason to care that he's there, because he or she is part of that story that they've been interacting with. Maybe it's something that's tied into a quest, or maybe it's a bit of the lore of the world, something that makes them care about the one-shot character enough to bring them along with the party. I've never gotten... I think it's because my players are really nice people. I've never gotten when the guest shows up and they're just like, no, we're not going to talk to you, kind of thing. They play along because it's fun. But yeah, the only problem with this last night's session, was that one person couldn't make it. That was fine. We have a rule here on D20 Multiverse. If one person can't make it, we go ahead. If two or more can't make it, generally postpone, kind of thing. But anyway, one person couldn't make it. But that's good, we're still going ahead. And then like 20 minutes before it started, I got a text saying that one of my other players couldn't make it. Now this is too late to call off the show, because we've got people coming from around the city. We've already set up the set. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my god, I've got half an hour before we go live, and half the party's not here. And the stuff that I'd planned was really important to the story. It is the final boss battle of this current story arc. And I'm thinking, well, you know, that's brutal to have one person not there for. And now two people can't make it? Sorry, just hold on one sec. I feel like this is going to add effect. I'm still here. I just saw this and realised I had to put it on. That's better. Yeah, so essentially I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? I can't have two people, especially like two people that are really integral in combat, not here for the main boss battle of the story arc. And so I just thought to myself, oh my god, and I spent hours doing maps of like 4 floor plans. I designed the pocket dimension, which they were going to travel to, and, you know, it was all hours of work at my computer, and then it was just like, oh, now I can't really do that, because they have to be, you know, they have to be here for this fight. I can't do it. And I was like, what the hell do I do? Then I realized, wait. Okay, I'll just... the stuff that was going to happen at the start to introduce High Gun Blackhammer, Alexander Sparrow's character, I thought, okay, I'll stretch that out. I can make that last, it was going to be a 10-minute thing. I made it last like half an hour on the stream, if you watch back. And then I just thought, okay, let the players kind of do what they want, kind of thing. They're in a castle, like in a city, in a kingdom, so it's alright. They've got stuff to do. So let them free roam a bit and track down, like one of them, Dane the Paladin, wanted to track down Fate, the party member that sold their information to, the bad guy. Essentially, that's what he wanted to do. So I let people kind of do some free roam, stretch it out a little bit more, stretch it out. And then when they got to the pocket dimension, essentially... I had a whole bunch of enemies in the world. It was supposed to be like a dangerous place. They get trapped in this dimension and they're looking around and there's no discernible way out, and there's a lot of really freaky creatures here. They don't know how powerful they are. Now that was the intention, to kind of set the scene. And maybe they were supposed to fight one of these groups of enemies up to the castle. Because the main point of this episode was going to be get into the castle, and the castle, I've got like 3-4 pages of schematics for what's going on in the castle. Leading up to the battle. If my players are watching this, hey, how's it going? Just forget everything you've just heard. And stuff that's coming after that as well. So essentially I stretched out a lot of the roleplay stuff at the start, because the session runs for Black Wind Night about 4 hours. So I stretched that out, 3 hours. Stretched that out. And then when they got to the pocket dimension, I just kind of made them fight more enemies, because that kind of just stretches it out. And eventually, they got to a point where they get to the gate, they get to the door of the obelisk, this place, the main point of this mission. And that's where I ended the session. So now, when the other... and another thing, I'll get to in a sec. So that kind of stretched it out long enough so that next session, it's going to be the battle that I had anticipated would be last night's session, giving the players, a chance to be there for the boss battle, the final boss battle of the story arc. And there was something else. I knew I was going to forget that as soon as I said I'll deal with it later. Doodly do. No, it's gone. It's out of these things. Into the ether. Yeah, so, essentially, that was a whole bunch of stuff that I had to deal with, and I had 20 minutes to decide what to do when I got a text saying, sorry, I can't make it. I was like, oh, crap, okay. Rewrite time kind of thing. But as a DM, I mean, life gets in the way. And sometimes, that'll happen even when everyone's there, because the party will decide to go somewhere else. And I don't like railroading my players. I do kind of... I mean, I want them to fight the enemies that I create. The important ones, the ones that are important to the story. Or at least, maybe social encounter. I want them to address the issues at hand, at least. I think my players have a decent enough moral compass to not say, well, yeah, there's this guy destroying the world, but we're not... I want to go play dice, or something like that, So they kind of have a moral obligation to fight the guys. Something I really loved doing, which I thought was a unique aspect of character creation that I did for... And again, my players, if you're watching this, sign off now. And I'll know if you've watched this, because I have a Pikachu hat. So essentially... And I've lost it again. My mind's low. I'm so tired. What was I saying? I had to get up earlier today. Oh my god. The boss that I created. Now, for those of you who have been keeping track and watch our live streams, you'll know that Nemesis, the king of the 4 Lords of Violence, essentially is the ruler. He's the final boss in this story arc. And there were 4 major bosses beneath him that both parties had been alerted to, and are kind of dealing with them. Sometimes this party will go after this boss, but then in the next session of the other game, they'll defeat him, so they'll go up and go that way, which if you're fast traveling, it's not actually a big issue. But the thing that I created that I thought was kind of unique, I don't know, you might have done this before, or it's from somewhere else, but I had a whole bunch of spells and abilities for Nemesis, the king of the 4 Lords of Violence. But every time one of his underlings, one of the 4 Lords of Violence, gets killed, because Nemesis draws his power from those 4, if you kill one of the Lords of Violence, that weakens one of his spells. So, Nemesis, the Lord of Violence, has working for him Kaldea, the Ice Lord, the Lava Lord, Artilion, the Ogre King, and Silencia and Fangoria, the Vampiric Twins. So, Nemesis had drawn powers from all 4 of those, so he had the regeneration of the Vampire Lords. Vampires, as you may know, started their turn, if they haven't taken radiant damage, regen a bunch of their hit points. But one of the parties, killed Fangoria and Silencia. So, that life link from Nemesis to that Lord of Violence, when that Lord of Violence was slain, gets severed, and now Nemesis regeneration does a lot less each turn, because they'd killed one of, the parts of him, essentially. Now, the interesting thing is, Koldir, the Ice Lord, they're still in the middle of combat, and we have to cancel this week's game for Eyes of Elisia, because a whole bunch of people can't make it. So, the Black Winter Knights are actually going to take on Nemesis before he's fully weakened. They've taken out 3 of the 4 lords, so he's been weakened 3 times. His regeneration has been weakened, some of his fire spells have been weakened, and some of his ensnaring spells have been weakened, because Ogre King was ensnare, Fire Lord, fire, kind of thing. So I thought that was an interesting element. I'm actually kind of happy that I'd created it. I thought it was interesting enough because it's like a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So open world, you can go straight from the tutorial right to the boss battle, if you want, which is going to make speedruns amazing. But I thought in this world, hey, if they wanted to take out the king, the king of the Lords of Violence straight away, they totally can. That's up to them. That's their choice as players. I'm not going to railroad them there. But if they make the smarter choice to kill the underlings first, when they finally do fight Nemesis, he's going to be weakened. Now, the thing about running 2 games and having 1 boss was that, well, one party's going to get to kill Nemesis, the grand boss of this arc, and the other one will be left a little bit unsatisfied. But my workaround for that is that when one party kills Nemesis, they kill him in his current form, and they actually find out that Nemesis has been using Polymorph, and his human form is actually just a Polymorph spell, and he's really this like dark, dragony kind of Komodo dragon beast thing. So one party will kill Nemesis the man, and one party will kill his other form, the beast form. That's the plan, anyway. We'll see if that completely goes absolutely haywire. So I've been talking for a while. I hope you found this interesting. Just getting behind the screen and seeing what I'd planned and what worked and what didn't. Really great to throw in guest characters from time to time. Keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh. And I'm lucky in that I know a lot of actors and comedians, because I'm an actor and comedian myself. So I have kind of links of just cool people, a network of friends who do shows all around the world, and I feel blessed that I can bring them in. And it was his first ever D&D game, so I think I've introduced him to something there. Well, that's me. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go back to playing Our Love Will Grow, which is a great farm simulator. If you haven't seen it, it's on Steam. And if you like this channel, which I hope you do, I'm supposed to plug something here, because Dave told me to plug something. And my brain has just not been working. Where's Dave? I'll just call Dave. Hang on. Where is my phone? Oh, it's down here. Yeah, I'm back. Twitch channel. That's what I was supposed to be plugging at the end of this. Go check out the D20 Multiverse on Twitch, because not only do we live stream 2 games a week with myself as Dungeon Master, climbing those stairs, man. Not only do we live stream 2 games a week, Black Winter Knights and Eyes of Elisia, set in Ucast in my world Elisia, but we're also starting a sorry, whew, I'm so unfit. We're also starting a podcast in a couple of weeks called D20 After Hours, and that's going to be live streamed on Twitch as well. Essentially, you'll get a chance to hang out with us on the cybersphere, and we're just going to talk and just make jokes. It's going to be really fun, so check that out when that's up. Thanks so much for everyone that's supported the channel and everything. You guys are wonderful. I think that's it. Oh, and last time I did one of these videos, I asked you guys for questions. And I was going to answer them in the next episode, which is this one. So we did get a question, and the question was, what question are you hoping to be asked? And the answer is, well, I hoped to be asked a question. That was, what do you hope to be asked as a question? So, on the note of infinite recursion, thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. Check out our Twitch, and from myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, farewell. I have no idea what that was.